Hello everyone. Today in this video we will discuss on the topic impact of COVID-19 on Indian economy. It is an eye-catching topic of discussion for every person in current scenario. I have covered three segments over here. First of all, a brief discussion about COVID-19, then its impact on Indian economy as well as measures taken by the government to overcome this problem. According to today's morning update, almost 213 countries and territories around the world have reported a total number of 74,58,921 confirmed cases of coronavirus, 4,19,020 deaths, and 37,78,218 recoveries. The COVID-19 pandemic is now the defining global health crisis of our time and the greatest global humanitarian challenge the world has seen since World War II. As humans have spread across the world, so have infectious diseases. Even in this modern era, outbreaks are nearly constant, though not every outbreak reaches pandemic level as COVID-19 has. Widespread trade created new opportunities for human and animal interaction that sped up such epidemics. Malaria, tuberculosis, leprosy, influenza, smallpox, and others first appeared during these early years. The more civilized human beings with larger cities, more exotic trade routes, and increased contact with different population of people, animals, and ecosystem, the more likely pandemics would occur. Here are some of the major pandemics that have occurred over the time since 165 to 2020, that is up to present. As you all are seeing on the slide, you found that despite the persistence of disease and pandemics throughout the history, there is one consistent trend over time, a gradual reduction in the death rate. Healthcare improvements and understanding the factors that incubate pandemics have been powerful tool in mitigating their impact. Taken into consideration its severe intensity seen in the context of India having the highest rate of density population in the world, the government, both at the union and state level, commenced necessary action on war footing to prevent the spread of this pandemic. It was all the more so when it is known that this deadly disease has no medical cure. The effect of coronavirus is badly felt and noticed in the world's most developed countries like USA, Britain, and Germany, etc. Obviously, India was bound to be affected not only because of its domestic slowdown but also because of internal recession. Learning this lesson from the developed countries like Spain and Italy, India put all its machinery and material into motion to curb and or prevent the disease. What started as one-day Janta curfew on 22nd March 2020 by the Prime Minister of India and lockdowns by some of the state government, the entire country was declared to be under lockdown from the midnight of 24 March 2020 and the same continues up to 31st May 2020. Along with an unprecedented human toll, COVID-19 has triggered a deep economic crisis. The global impact could be broader than any that we have seen since the Great Depression. The economic impact of the 2020 coronavirus pandemic is also very disrupted in case of India. India's growth in the fourth quarter of the fiscal year 2020 went down to 3.1% according to the Ministry of Statistics. The World Bank and rating agencies had initially revised India's growth for financial year 2021, with the lowest figure India has seen in 3 decades since India's economic liberalization in the 1990s. On 26 May, CRISIL announced that this will perhaps be India's worst recession since independence. State Bank of India research estimate a contraction of over 40% in the GDP of quarter 1 for the financial year 2020 2021. Here in this slide, you are get on to be seeking that in the current year, that is financial year 20, we are seeking the highest downfall in the GDP in comparison to our financial year 16, 17, 18, 19. And it will be worst in the year financial year 21, that is minus 5%. And we can say it is estimated that there will be a minus 9.2% reduction in GDP due to this pandemic. According to a report of Center for Monitoring Indian Economy, the Economic Times, the unemployment rose from 6.7% on 15th March 2020 to 26% on 19th April 2020. More than 45% households across the nation have reported an income drop as compared to the previous year. The Indian economy was expected to lose over rupees 32,000 crore rupees every day during the first 21 days of complete lockdown. Under complete lockdown, less than a quarter of India's approximately $3 trillion economic movement was only in function. Near about 53% of business were projected to be significantly affected. Supply chains have been put under stress with the lockdown restriction because of a confusion at the starting phase regarding what an essential is and what is not. Those in the informal sector and the daily wage group have been at the most risk. A large number of farmers around the country who grow perishable also faced uncertainty. Major companies in India such as Larsen & Toubro, Bharat Forge, Ultratech Cement, Grasim Industries, Aditya Birla Group, BHEL and Tata Motors etc. have temporarily suspended or significantly reduced operations. Young startups have been impacted as funding has fallen. FMCG, that is fast moving consumer good companies, have also reduced operations and are focusing only on essential. As well, if we see the position of the stock market in India, posted their worst losses in the history on 23 March 2020, which you can see in my next slides. That is a report of BSE from the year January 15 to May 20. And here you are get on to be seeking on this slide that there is a very sharp fall down in from January 15 to yet is in the month of March 2020, and the only and the single reason is the pandemic of coronavirus. Same is the condition of the NSE market, and I have taken the values from 1st January 2020 to 10th of May 2020. Here again you are get on to be seeking that the NSE market, if I'll discuss related to the important dates. First of all, there is a fall on 30th January when WHO declared the virus was a public health emergency of nation concern. Then on 2nd March, you are get on to seeking a fall when India report first COVID-19 cases. 12th March, all school, colleges and cinema halls closed in New Delhi till end March. And 25 March, when India announces complete lockdown. So you can see over here the major fall downs is in the month of March reported by the NSE as well. Now, if I'll talk about the position of import and export during the lockdown period due to the pandemic of COVID-19, India's trade basket plummeted to a record low in April as countries sealed their borders to arrest the spread of coronavirus pandemic. Merchandise exports plunged 60.3% and imports fell 58.7%, resulting in a trade deficit of $6.8 billion according to the data released by the Commerce Ministry on 14th May 2020. A nearly 2-month long nationwide lockdown has hit India's trade, which has been on a declining trend due to a slowing economy. Out of the 30 major exporting items, only iron ore by 17.5% and pharmaceuticals by 0.25% recorded positive growth in the month of April 2020. Among the major import items, all registered negative growth during the month of April. While the contraction in non oil import was broad based, two-thirds of it was concentrated in items such as gold and precious stones, electronic goods, machinery, and coal. The sharp 59.3% decline in non oil export was driven by engineering goods, gems and jewelries, and textile. Here, I have included some sectors in my discussion which show the effect of lockdown due to the COVID-19. First of all, I'll take the energy sector. India's fuel demand in April 2020 as compared to the previous year fell nearly 46%, which was lowest since 2007. Only the cooking gas sale rose by 12%. India's annual fuel consumption will decline by 5.6% in 2020 as per International Energy Agency report. Now, next, if we see the position of agriculture sector, according to the study of Public Health Foundation of India, Harvard TH Chan School of Public Health and the Center for Sustainable Agriculture forecast that 10% of workers could not harvest their crop in the month of April, and 60% who did harvest reported a yield loss. The entire Darjeeling tea-based tea industry will see significant fall in revenue. As well, during lockdown, food wastage increased due to affected supply chains, which affect small farmers. Now, the manufacturing sector, as I have already told you, that in the manufacturing sector, most of the manufacturing units either got temporarily suspended or significantly reduced their operations. Next, e-commerce. In the third week of March, Amazon announced that it would stop sale of non-essential items in India so that it could focus on essential needs. Walmart owned Flipkart, Big Basket and Grofers also run restricted services facing disruptions due to the lockdown. In defense, the Department of Military Affairs, led by the Chief Defense Staff, postponed all capital acquisition until the coronavirus pandemic recedes, except the delivery of S-400 missile system. During the announcement of economic package, the finance minister announced a change in the FDI capital from 49% to 74% for defense. The corporatization of India's ordnance production and a list for the ban of selected defense imports. Rather, up to yet, the final data related to the losses faced by the economy is not published by the Government of India, but we can hope that we will come out from this recession period very soon. It will be as much important to see the relief package issued by the government as much the losses occurred to the economy. But because the size of the video will got very big, that's why I will post my second part in its part 2 video where I will discuss the measures taken by the government. Okay, I hope you find the interested data over there in this discussion. Okay.